So notice not to God, but to each other. Now, if all you want to do is to be forgiven of your faults, sins, and confess that confess them to God. But if you want to be healed by them and get over them, the starting point is to be able to share it with somebody else. Revealing your feelings is the beginning of healing, and sometimes God will wire us with other people so that things can only move by the help of others. My next point is why we need awesome friends is for social enjoyment. Okay, so life is meant to be enjoyed and not purely endured. Okay, so friendships are a bedrock for a satisfying life. According to Acts 2 verse 46, they worshiped together at the temple each day, met in homes for the Lord's Supper, and shared their meals with great joy and generosity. And this is what this was referring to the disciples. So you can have all the money in the world and all the achievements in the world and have all the pleasures in the world, but if your relationship with people is not that great, it's not exactly living a life with joy and happiness. Nothing can compensate for the lack of good relationship, and I'm not talking about just surface level friendships, but more of like that deep level relationship that you have with people where you can be vulnerable with one another, and being able to encourage each other as well. You guys know many actors and actresses, even rich people, have all the money in the world, but they still don't have good relationships with people, causing them to feel loneliness, bitterness, and resentful. So in terms of social enjoyment in regards to my parents' idea of social enjoyment is actually coming to our house and hanging out with my sister and I. They don't really have that many friends, and they often like to just, they're very much often to themselves, and I guess it's hard for them to actually go out there and meet new people. And it's fine because I love my parents and we're really close to them, but they really miss out in being able to hang out with other fellow believers who are their age, who can actually minister to them and reach out to them and encourage them about their faith. So they miss out on that, and it's kind of really sad. And sometimes, like with me, I have a hard time having to explain myself to my parents about my faith because they can come off a little judgy and because they know about my weaknesses. But if they were actually out there to, I guess, interact with other people of their age, or, it's good for them to be there so that they could like encourage one another and be there for each other, in a way to be more influential and relatable. And I think it's amazing if, one day that my parents can actually step out and do that. So if you guys can keep that in prayer, because I've asked my dad to go to actually the Bible study group for the adults, but he's been kind of like, oh, maybe next time. So he makes like excuses about going. But that's just something that's in my heart. Like if you guys can pray for that in regards to my family, that'd be awesome. Okay, yeah, and sometimes I get jealous because I see Mars's mom or, Junior's parents who really have grown in their relationship with the Lord, and it's amazing to see that. And I think none of that would have happened if they didn't have like community or people that they can definitely, I guess, be encouraged by. So, okay, so in regards to social enjoyment, fellowshipping is very important too. And I say fellowshipping as in like hanging out with other people from Bible study groups or even from church. And to be honest with you, Bo can attest to this. When I first started Crossroads, I really didn't want to hang out with anybody. And my whole thing was I just wanted to, what do you call that? Like I valued sleep more than hanging out with Crossroads. And so, yeah, it was really hard for me because after Bible study group, I would just usually go home, and I would get made fun of that. Made fun of by Paul a lot because of that. But the Lord changed my heart, which He allowed me to go deeper with the people at Bible study group, and I feel like if I didn't invest the time that I have with Crossroads, especially Paul, I wouldn't be able to make fun of him as much as I have been. Yeah, so it's been an amazing relationship with him. Just right now, you just offended me, but I was like, oh, I don't care. It doesn't bug me. Yeah, you're here. No, just kidding. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, so being able to, not only that, but I also established really good relationships with the women of Crossroads, you know, the women that used to be here. I was actually in one of their weddings too, and you know, it was a really good, memorable moment to be able to, you know, establish that. Okay. Okay, so no, oh yeah, I just wanted to also bring this up. And so till this day, I mean, there's a whole bunch of new people from Crossroads, and I think for me, I think I've mentioned this already. I really get to witness the different personalities, and you know, it's amazing to you know, acknowledge that and see how different people engage differently with others. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so my next point of why we need awesome friends is that we need to, you know, friends are important because to help reach our goals and your goals and my goals, basically. You will never fulfill the goals in life by yourself. It takes really a team to build that up. You can't do this walk alone, like I've emphasized. Again, in Ecclesiastes 4:9, 2 people are better than one because they get more done by working together. And then Philippians 2:4 is let each of you look not only to his own interest, but also to the interest of others. In Proverbs 27:17, again, iron sharpens iron, so a friend sharpens a friend. So this whole thing talks about accountability, such as what I mentioned earlier, keeping you accountable and on your feet. You have to have a friend who can keep you accountable and on your feet when you have set goals for yourself, and to help bring awareness in your life when you start to slack off or feel like you know, your faith is somehow in jeopardy. And you know, it's nice to be able to share with someone your dreams and your visions to help encourage you, especially when you feel like, you know, these dreams and visions are taking forever to accomplish or to come to pass. I have so many accountability partners. I have Selena, who's not here tonight. You know, she keeps me accountable in prayer and really deeply in the root of God, and also just a reminder of God's promises. And I have Anu here, who keeps me accountable with food. I just have to listen to her. And then there's my friend Liliana, who keeps me accountable regarding, you know, the giftings that the Holy Spirit has given me. And, you know, honestly, without these individuals, I don't know where I'd be. They've encouraged me so much to stay focused in my goals and in my dreams, that if I didn't have them, I probably would not have accomplished certain things in my life that were attainable. Okay? Okay, so how do I build these awesome friendships? Do you guys know the golden rule? Or Matthew 7:12? Yeah. So do to others whatever you would like them to do to you. So give people what you would like to receive, and treat people how you would like to be treated. So I had a friend who only contacted me when she needed help, and whenever I reached out to her to like hang out or do things together, I would never get a response back. And she would only contact me if she needed something. And so it was really hard to maintain like a relationship with her because I felt like it was just really one-sided. So again, this goes back to the question I asked you guys in the beginning. What is your definition of a friendship? If you really want to have great friendships, like deep, long-lasting friendships, you have to be a friend that you would like to have. Okay. So, there are 6 golden rules to building friendships, okay? Whether it be at work, with your, you know, significant other, small groups, or whatever. The first point is to be able to invest the time, okay? So the starting point is investing the time. So this goes back to what I mentioned previously, and how many people make excuses about making deep friendships is that it's too effortful. Okay, so deep friendships are not accidental. They are always on purpose and intentional. Okay, so deep friendships are not instant either. They develop over time, and I've gotten to be so close, for example, with Lynn for so many years because it required us to hang out and do things together over time and spend time together. And honestly, Rick Warren states that deep friendships are not cheap. And I mean this literally because most of our time spent together has been with food, hanging out and doing, you know, getting boba and all that kind of stuff. So it's expensive. Once in a while, like. Okay, so you must choose to invest. Okay, so you must choose to invest time, energy, and effort. Okay, so, and no friendship is going to flourish with just being there on occasion. Okay, Rick Warren states that we have to show up. It's very important for us to show up. Okay, friends show up and they are present, whether it be in small groups or in gatherings or things that we do together.